Going to ask everybody to start to find your table. We'll get the program started here in a few minutes. lifter. All right, please find your seats if you can. We're going to get started here. I know I said that a few minutes ago, but in just a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 50th annual New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet. Thank you so much for being here. Please take your seats, and we're going to get started on a great celebration, which should be wonderful tonight as we recognize athletes, coaches, contributors, and people who have done so much in the sports community in our state. My name is Jeff Symbieta, and I have the honor to be the MC tonight here at this just amazing event. First of all, I want to say thank you to Gallus Chevrolet. This banquet tonight is presented by Gallus Chevrolet. Their general manager is Eddie Espinosa. Thank you to Gallus for everything that you've done. ProView Networks is broadcasting this event live to the world on ProViewNetworks.com. It'll be delayed later tonight on Comcast Channel 26. And I want to say congratulations to Steve Davis and to Alden and to Jason and everybody at ProView Networks. Steve is a New Mexico native, a former Lobo great, and what ProView Networks has become and just bringing countless sporting events. Proud of ProView Networks and what they've done, and congratulations to Steve and to Jason and to Alden for everything that they do, and I know that you've watched their stuff. This is special. No, please. Yeah, please for ProView. It's a special one anytime we recognize greatness. And if you look around this room, you are touched by greatness everywhere. Athletes, coaches, contributors, journalists, people who have played such a great part in sports in New Mexico. The New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame started in 1974 as the Albuquerque Sports Hall of Fame. And it's really special to me to have the honor to stand here on our 50th ceremony, our 50th class, because when I was working for Governor Bill Richardson on the New Mexico Sports Authority back in 2005 and 2006, Dennis Latta, then the executive director of the Sports Authority, and Governor Richardson were really passionate about expanding the Hall of Fame, that there was way more in this state that needed to be recognized outside of just Albuquerque, that the greatness in this state needed to be honored, recognized every single year. And I was a small part of that group. In 2005, Russell Goff was the then president of the board of the Hall of Fame. And along with Governor Richardson and Dennis, I was a small part in expanding this, what then became the Albuquerque New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And in 2012, it took on the current moniker, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And in that first year in 2005, what a class that was headlined by the great Ralph Tasker, the former basketball coach at Hobbs High School, and Lou Henson, who were immortalized then. So it's an honor for me just to be here on the 50th anniversary of this. With all that said, let's recognize greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand up and clap and recognize the class of 2023. That's right, last year's class going in today for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Coming up first, George Brooks. Georgia's 2004 men's ski team is the only men's NCAA Division I championship ever in New Mexico in any sport. In 1970, George approached UNM about making skiing an intercollegiate sport. As a result, he became the university's head coach at the age of 20. He would coach for the next 37 years at UNM. Since then, George has been the executive director for Ski New Mexico here in Albuquerque. Ladies and gentlemen, going into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, please welcome George Brooks. Next, Amber Campbell Moore. Amber lived her youth days in Tucumcari, New Mexico. She is a three-time USA Olympian in the hammer throw. Amber was a five-time NCAA All-America in the weight throw, the hammer throw, the shot put, and the discus. She did that at Coastal Carolina University. She won 11 national track titles and was a two-time Pan American Games medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, come on up. Amber Campbell Moore. come on up, please. Next up, please welcome Hall of Famer Charlie Crist. Charlie's one of the greatest New Mexico State Aggie basketball players ever. He was the first Aggie to be named All-America. He was the third leading scorer and the top man in assists for the 1970 Final Four New Mexico State University Aggie basketball team. Charlie would play 418 games over 8 seasons in the NBA with the Atlanta Hawks, the San Diego Clippers, and the Milwaukee Bucks. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer, Charlie Crist. Next up, please welcome new Hall of Famer Larry Hayes. Larry is an Elida, New Mexico native. He went to Dora High School, and he's become a legend in the college baseball and softball ranks. He spent 22 seasons with the Texas Tech Red Raiders as their head baseball coach. He won more than 800 games and has his number retired. His college baseball teams have won over 1,500 baseball games, which made him the 4th baseball coach in NCAA history to reach that milestone. 48 years after starting to coach, he is still a head coach, boys and girls. He's currently leading Colorado Christian University softball team. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Hayes. Next up, a new Hall of Famer, Frank Maestas, who passed away March of 2006, represented tonight by his sons, Senator Antonio Maestas and Miguel Maestas. Frank Maestas was a pioneer for Hispanics in journalism in general and in sports journalism. He was one of the first Latino sports writers in the nation back in the 1960s. He was a sports writer for the Albuquerque Journal for 28 years. Many of his feature articles brought tremendous pride and a sense of accomplishment to many New Mexico families and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time he's a Hall of Famer, Frank Maestas. Also being inducted tonight, Jim Marshall, who passed away in September of 2021. He's represented by his wife, Carol, his son, Jim Bob Marshall, and his daughter, Tammy Rotuno. Jim coached for 42 years, 4 years in high school, 27 years at New Mexico Highlands University, and 11 years at the College of the Southwest. His teams won 619 college baseball games, and his 1967 Cowboys team won the NAIA National Baseball Championship. Going into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is Jim Marshall. And being inducted into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame tonight, Glover Quinn Jr. Glover is one of the best ever Lobo football players. In 2008, Glover was the most valuable player of the University of New Mexico football team, only the second defensive player ever named the team's MVP. The other was a guy named Brian Urlacher. Glover was first team All-Mountain West that year. Then he started 162 of his 165 games over a 10-season career in the National Football League with the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. He was All-Pro in 2014, and tonight he is a Hall of Famer, Glover Quinn. And going into the Hall of Fame tonight, Klaus Weber. Klaus, with his daughter Mariah King and his son Josh Weber. Josh came to the University of New Mexico in 1976 to be the cross-country ski coach back then. Klaus has coached in over 2,500 competitions between high school, club, and college in soccer, tennis, and skiing. He also played in about 1,000 soccer games. In fact, he competed in his last over 40 soccer match at the age of 66. A guy who can't get through the room without shaking every hand, and that's the way it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a Hall of Famer, Klaus Weber. It's a heck of a class, is it not? How about that for your 50th annual? You will hear from all of these men and women here later tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for your newest New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame inductees. Your latest Hall of Fame class, ladies and gentlemen. You'll hear from them here shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask that you stay standing, please. I know. I'm reading it, but then I'm reading the Times. It says, yeah, we're going to start at 4:45, and I just realized, all right, we're in Nuevo Mexico. It's the land of mañana, so we're right on time at 4:45 starting. Please remain standing for our national anthem, and it's going to be performed tonight by a Hall of Famer, class of 2001. You knew he had game. I don't know that you knew he had pipes to sing your national anthem, Preston Denard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Who knew? Did you? Hall of Famer, great NFL receiver, great Lobo, and wow. I'm going to call Roger and Myron up for the invocation. But before the invocation, I know you know so many New Mexicans are going through so much right now between the fires in Ruidoso and the flooding in Las Vegas. And I hope that you'll take a moment in your own way to remember those New Mexicans who aren't with us tonight, that are dealing with so much stuff, and however it is you say your prayer, send them good thoughts. But I know you'll join me in sending your love, your best thoughts, your prayers to the New Mexicans who are dealing with so much natural disaster throughout our state. And as you do that, I'd like to welcome Roger Holian and Santa Ana Governor Myron Armijo to the podium for the invocation this evening.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you this afternoon and we invite you to grace us with your presence. Father, this event is dedicated to the recognition of athletes and coaches who have been involved in the sports arena here in New Mexico in one form or another. Each inductee being honored today has not only excelled, but has left an indelible mark in their respective sports, becoming a beacon of inspiration and a blessing to the communities in the state of New Mexico. They've worked hard, diligently to cultivate the gifts that you have given them. In return, we ask your blessing upon them. Make them feel special tonight, Lord. May they feel valued and appreciated. We're grateful for the opportunity to gather and celebrate with exceptional people and the impact that you've allowed us to make. Father, bless all those who work so hard to put this venue together with the New Mexico Hall of Fame Banquet. Lord, bless this food to nourishment to our body. Father, we invite your presence. We thank you, Father, for this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Roger. We're blessed. I've done a lot of different things in sports in my 28 years in New Mexico, and I've been blessed to meet so many people. One thing that's been consistent and remains that way right now, our leadership has understood the value of athletics and the value of sports, the value not just for our economy, but what it does for our youth and our physical and mental health at the youth level, what it does for civic pride, what it does for tourism. And I want to recognize some special people who are here today that really understand that and have been very supportive. Please welcome over here to my right, to your left in the front row. She has supported everything that I've done in sports, and I know most of what you've done. Our governor is here today. Please say hello and welcome Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. I think she heard that. Also, Albuquerque's mayor is here today, and you can find him out in a lot of things. Maybe he'll be quarterbacking. Well, the Gladiators got a heck of a quarterback right now, but he's tried that. He'll be out at the Isleta New Mexico Bowl catching passes on the field before the game, and he's been very supportive of everything we've done athletic-wise. He is a former state auditor. He is a washed-up high school quarterback. The mayor of Albuquerque is here, Tim Keller.
Hello, I'm Mayor Tim Keller. Welcome to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame 50th induction ceremony. I've always believed that sports are the cornerstone to building strong communities. From cheering on the Lobos at the pit to watching track stars compete right here at the convention center or participating ourselves, sports empower us to be better individuals and better teammates. This year's inductees are inspirations for all of us, both in and out of their careers, as they have achieved greatness worth celebrating. They raise the standard in terms of what it means to be athletes, coaches, sports writers, all while bettering their community. This city is dedicated to preserving their legacy and supporting current and future generations of New Mexico sports legends. This includes investing in state-of-the-art competition and training facilities, and being the fiscal agent for the future New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame Museum and Event Center. On behalf of myself and the city of Albuquerque, congratulations to the class of 2023. We're grateful for your leadership and thank you for being an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you, Mayor Keller. I watched the mayor out there, and he was an athlete, and I look around the room and all the athletes, I'm like, dang, some of you were like, some of you had it and some of you didn't, right? Some of you were Hall of Famers, some of you didn't. I went out. I wanted to be, I played like most of you. Everybody played, right? We all did something. We all went out and played a little bit. And I in my mind, I was pretty good. And until that coach back in high school, because I tried hard now. I was out there. I was running laps. I was running lines. I was doing it. And he put his arm on me when I was still okay. And he looked at me and he said, Jeff, He says, look, you're trying, but you might be short, but you're slow. I'm like, yeah, no, I got it. But I'm quick, right, Coach? Yeah, sure you are. Yeah, your mouth is quick, so keep doing that. So I commend all of you, and I appreciate what everybody's done. The New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is a board of people, and before I bring up the president, I want to recognize the board. This is a group of people who works tirelessly all year long, and they put on a bunch of events, and I'm going to ask, if I might, all of the board members for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame to please stand and give them a round of applause for the intense amount of work that they put into this. An amazing, dedicated group of people, and the president of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame has been doing this for quite some time. He's got a welcome for you today. Please welcome to the stage the president of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board, Mr. Marty Sice.
Lights are bright. The lights are bright, but so is everything in this room. And I look across this room, and it's a packed room for our 50th anniversary. They dressed me up nice and put a little gold. I didn't know gold was 50 years. 50 years of great, honoring great athletes, coaches, teams. For me, the last 14 years have been a pleasure just getting to know these people more than athletes. And this weekend was a good testament of what transpired. We had a really beautiful welcome dinner at Santa Ana Hotel. I think we have like 40-some PASA inductees back. Some couldn't make it tonight, but most of them were there Friday night. We also had a great golf tournament yesterday. Again, thank you to Gallus Chevrolet, Eddie Espinosa, Rick Gallus, Hickam Gallus. Those are two inductees that have been real instrumental in making this event bigger and better each year. Again, I'd like to welcome the governor, Michelle Grisham Lujan, for just being here. I know you've been so busy this past week and taking the time to share this special moment with these individuals. And again, Mayor Tim Keller, I see you all over doing all the stuff here in this community. I think every time I see you, you look like a sports guy. Sweats, I see you in a suit. It's always sweats and T-shirts, but you know, that's what our partnership means to this. You know, I thought about this weekend, and one thing with all the tragedies and everything, one thing that brings communities together, individuals together, is sports. I watched it in the last few days, Val Boyer talking to Carolyn Thompson, different eras, different parts of the state, and seeing Petey Gibson and Charlie Chris, two guys that played hard against each other back in the 70s, to come together to enjoy a great evening. Again, I want to thank my board. This board has worked harder than any board that I've ever had or ever been part of. To do 5 events in 3 days with no paid staff is pretty crazy, and I'm probably the crazy leader that did it, but there was a lot of, everybody in this board helped out in one way or the other, and so, again, I thank them for being part of this event. Like Jeff said, this is March 5th, 1974. It was the first Albuquerque Sports Hall of Fame, and thanks to Bill Richardson, in 2005, we expanded. In 2012, we finally made it official, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And finally, in 2014, some of us board members said, man, some of these people are going to die before we induct them. We could only induct 4, it was the bylaws, and so we expanded. This year's classes ties with one of the other classes, the largest class ever. But also, part of the partnership companies. I'd like to recognize all the partner companies. If you're a partner owner, please stand up. Everybody that's a partner owner that did a partnership, please stand up. Without your partnership, there is no way this could happen. So thank you. And because of that, for the last 8 years, we've done charities. ALS Lou Gehrig, on behalf of our good friend and former board president, Gene Pino, This year we added the Northern New Mexico Boys and Girls Club, and also former class inductee Mike Brown for the Mike Brown Papa MSA Scholarship Foundation. And then tonight we're also going to give out 3 scholarships to 3 deserving athletes. So tonight, enjoy yourself, and let's talk sports.
Thank you, Marty. Looking around this room, and I think back to those days in 2005 when we did the right thing, when the Albuquerque Sports Hall of Fame was expanded to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And last calendar year, both Governor Richardson and Dennis Latta, then the director of the New Mexico Sports Authority, passed away. And I wish they would be here to see this, because this is everything we talked about back in those rooms when we were having this conversation, to recognize the best in our state, to bring our state together every year and recognize what you all have done and the greatness that it is. And to be part of number 50 is really special. We've lost some greats over the last months and years, too many over the last few weeks. One of them was a New Mexico Sports Hall of Famer. And I'm going to ask you to please join me in celebrating one of the greatest New Mexico sports heroes we've had, Greg Brown, the former UNM and Albuquerque High School basketball great, New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame class of 2008, who passed away on Friday, June 14th, just a little over a week ago. I guess we're going to this one. There's a lot of former inductees in the room today. I'm going to ask you all to please come over. I know it's right in the middle of your meal, isn't it? You guys keep an eye on their meal. Don't let them take it away while they're up here. But we've got a lot of great Hall of Famers in attendance tonight. We want to thank them for being sports heroes in our state and want you to recognize them as we do this. So as I call your name, and I'm going to do it by class, please come on up and stand on the stage, and we'll do a group photo when we've got you all up here. How's dinner, by the way? It looks pretty good. Can I do a shout out to the staff here at the Albuquerque Convention Center? Ray Rowe is the general manager here, and the staff here is always so great, and the people who are I see Curtis back there. Curtis, I got you on it. I see you working. Thank you, staff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call you by class, and please step forward as I do, and welcome past Hall of Famers. Class of 2021. You want them off the stage, Marty? All right, well, they're not going off the stage. All right, please step forward and take a wave to the crowd as I call you up. Class of 2021, Bill Gracie. Class of 2021, Herb Stinson. He's on his way. Well, I'll wait because he needs to get recognized. Wave, Herb. Class of 2021, Emmanuel Manny Smith, represented by his son, Mark Smith. Class of 2020, Carolyn Thompson. Class of 2019, Rob Evans. Class of 2018, Mike Brown. Coach Brown is represented by his grandson, Mike. Class of 2018, Susan Craig. Class of 2017, Teresa Tapia, representing Johnny Tapia. Class of 2017, Roy Girella. Ron Maestas, class of 2017. Rick Gallus, class of 2017. Class of 2016, Jim Johns. Adam Kedge, class of 2016. Frank Castillo, class of 2016. Class of 2015, Henry Tafoya. Class of 2015, Carla Garrett. You can come up front, Carla. Class of 2012, Kenny Thomas. He doesn't have to come up front. And class of 2012, Carol Barnett. Class of 2010, Jim Cicerello. Class of 2010, Curtis Williams. Rocky Long, class of 2010. Buddy Robertson, class of 2007. Sue V. Hill McEachern, class of 2007. Class of 2006, Jim Ottman. Class of 2006, Lionel Taylor. Class of 2005, Mary Henson, representing her husband, Lou Henson. Class of 2003, Sally Marcus. Class of 2002, Val Boyer-Wells. Should we ask him to sing? Class of 2001, Preston Denard. Don Woods, class of 1999. Petey Gibson, class of 1999. Jim Holzman, class of 1989, right up here up front. Class of 1985, Ira Hart Sr. Class of 1978, Kathy Carr West. How about that? That's what this means, to be part of this fraternity, this special group of people, that they come back and celebrate every year that they can. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a Hall of Fame ovation for these great New Mexico Sports Hall of Famers? You guys, they want to get a group picture if you guys will bunch up together. They want to get a group picture. Great to see you. What takes longer, bringing them all up or getting them together for a picture? Just asking. I'm going to say the latter. Husband's getting a picture. How about one more round of applause for this great group of unbelievable Hall of Famers? The beauty is, so many of you, and I know I do, have so many stories about the people on this stage and times you spent with them, and it's just great to see them all come back and what this means to them, and obviously what it means to y'all to be here every year and see the greatness that was just on this stage. Don't drop the ball, KT. So the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame since 2015 has been raising money for scholarships with the Charity Golf Classic, partnerships, and board member donations. The New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame has donated over $100,000 to ALS New Mexico on behalf of former board member and president Gene Pino from 2016 to 2018, and over $100,000 to scholarships to deserving student athletes from throughout the state. Tonight, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame will donate money to 3 charities and give out 3 scholarships. Right now, they don't know the exact money because the money that they are presenting is still being raised because they're doing silent auctions and live auctions and those sorts of things. But they did the live auction, a silent auction, and the board hopes to give you more money than they're seeing on the checks. I want to welcome board member and 2016 inductee Frank Castillo to the podium for this next presentation.
Well, Marty kind of talked about this a little bit at the beginning about what we've done for ALS as a group over the last, as a group over the last 10 or 15 years, ever since my good friend, and all of you know Gene Pino, I think, at some point in time. He's done an awful lot of good things over the years for athletics. Wonderful person. He's been suffering from ALS, I would say, for the last 13 years. You know, there's a lot of people that don't last that long when they get that horrible disease. But he has endured, and he has just beat it, to be honest with you, to be around here for as long as he has been. So if I could have Coach Pino, he was one of my assistant coaches, so it's always Coach Pino. But if I could have Coach Pino come up here, and everybody, we need to, he's my hero, honestly. He's done such a terrific job of a lot of different things throughout our community for APS athletics. Let's give him a standing ovation. He deserves it. Please. Gene Pino, ALS. And what the board is going to do is they are going to go ahead and, again this year, in his name, in Coach Pino's name, we're going to give $10,000 to New Mexico ALS. So a big round of applause.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Coach Pino and Gene, for everything you've done. And his wife Sadie was up here along with Katie Crouch, who's the ALS New Mexico Executive Director, and the past Executive Director, Joe Cordova, who have both done amazing things for ALS New Mexico. And it just beautiful stuff that's happening right there. All right, next up. I want to welcome Jay Abeda, the CEO and President, and Marty Seiss to come on up. We're going to make a donation now to Northern New Mexico Boys and Girls Club of Generational Empowerment, and more things that the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is doing in our community, and I'm going to let Marty tell you all about it.
I'm going to let Jay tell you about it.
Thank you, Marty. So it's great to be here with everyone this afternoon. A little bit about the Boys and Girls Club. It's a lot like sports when you take it into consideration, in that it instills and builds resiliency in the students that we serve, teaches them the qualities and morals that are important in life, such as respect, honesty, communication, teamwork. But it also provides opportunities for mentors and an environment that says, yes, I can. And so to partner with the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, to partner with all of you guys, it's really beneficial to the community and to the students we serve. And I want to thank you, each and every one of you guys, and congratulate you guys on the work that you guys have done, because together we can make a difference. And strong, resilient children is what we're working at accomplishing. So thank you, everybody. Marty, thank you.
Right now, the board, we had a live auction, silent auction on Friday. We had a silent auction at the golf event. And here tonight, we initially are going to give them at least $5,000, and hopefully when it's all said and done, we'll give them a whole lot more. So thank you.
Jay, Marty, thank you very much. Next up, there's going to be a donation to the Mike Papa Brown Foundation. And anybody who knew Coach Brown was touched by him and his family. I want to welcome Sean Brown, the daughter of Coach Mike Brown, 2018 inductee into the Hall of Fame and legendary Albuquerque Academy basketball coach. Coach Brown died back in June of 2021 after beating and battling MSA, multiple system atrophy, which is a neurological disorder that affects the brain and the nervous system. The New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is donating $5,000 towards the Mike Papa Brown Foundation. And like Marty said, it may be more than that after it's all said and done.
All right, I'm going to let E.J. Jordan, the grandson, share why they do what they do on behalf of Coach Mike Brown, who's one of the legendary basketball coaches here in New Mexico.
Hi, let me pass the mic to my sister real quick.
All right, thank you everyone for coming out. So we started the scholarship for my papa after he had passed away. We wanted to continue on his name because he was such a legendary coach here. He was somebody that a lot of people looked up to, not only his coaches, players, and students, but anybody that he ever met and talked to. So we wanted to carry on his name and give kids the opportunity to explain why they wanted to continue on in college with sports. And education was also very important to him since he was a English teacher. So that's why we started the scholarship. Any other words, Sean?
No, we just wanted to let you know that we do a scholarship for Papa. We've given away $45,000 in the last 3 years to 15 different recipients. We've been blessed, and we want to thank you all for your support. We want to thank you all for leaning into this with us, and we hope to continue it for many years. So thank you so much.
All right. There you go, Jeff.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank the Brown family. And always remember Papa Brown, all the great things that he did in this community. Thank you so much. April Lynn, I wrote on my script right here for me to tell you this is that spot you wanted to say 5 minutes in the silent auction. So you still want to say, all right, 5 minutes until the silent auction closes. And at that point, this is where we do a raffle. And so I want to welcome back to the stage the board president, Marty Size, board president-elect April Lynn Chavez-Geisler, and board member Dr. Jimmy Abreu for this year's raffle drawing. I think.
We sold a maximum of 200 tickets earlier this month, and now, as we announced, we're going to be doing a drawing for those. There's a first, second, and third prize, and we're pulling those right now. The framed pieces that you see in front of you are the second and third prizes. So Michael Cooper, framed piece, signed with a Hall of Fame emblem, and the Alex Bregman framed piece with the emblem and his authenticated signature. First prize, for those of you that bought tickets, was a trip, and you had some options as far as what that trip was. Marty's coming up, dun, 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 and he's pulling the winners. Jimmy Abreu, board member, is going to be pulling the tickets.
Read it for me. What's it say?
All right. It is Marvin DeBlan, number 020. It's Marty's. You don't have to be present to win, so winner.
Second place.
That was for third place.
That was third place?
All right, next ticket, Dale Brunel. Dale Brunel, ticket number 189. 189. Again, you do not have to be present to win. Congratulations to Dale. All right, first place winner. And what do they win, Marty?
The trip, whatever those three choices are, they were pretty cool.
They have a choice of 3 different trips. All right, the winner is Dolores Lopez. Dolores Lopez is here. I thought it sounded like she was here. All right, she has ticket 122. So congratulations to Dolores, and it was a wonderful raffle, and hope we will be doing one next year. Oh, sorry.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. How about let's induct some Hall of Fame members? What do you think? How was dinner? This is where it says let's break for dinner, but I think you all ate dinner, and we're not going to break for dinner because, well, you had dinner, and dinner looked like dinner was good. Let's get started because we've got some people to recognize. Our first Hall of Fame inductee tonight is Klaus Weber.
Klaus Weber's accomplishments as a lifelong athlete can only be described as phenomenal. Well into his 60s, Klaus was competing in soccer and completing grueling races and quadrathlons that routinely scare off endurance athletes half his age. Klaus's legacy is certain to endure. The soccer complex at Albuquerque's Bosque School is named after him, as is Klaus Trail, a cross-country ski path on the east side of the Sandia Mountains. He also helped create a layout for the format of the popular Mount Taylor Winter Quadrathlon, a rugged 43-mile endurance test that Klaus completed more than 20 times. Born in Olten, Switzerland in 1943, Weber was an accomplished athlete well before he arrived in New Mexico in 1975. He competed for high-level soccer and cross-country skiing clubs while growing up in Switzerland, and later earned All-American status skiing for New York's Ulster County Community College. Klaus was just getting started. When he showed up in New Mexico in his early 30s, he signed on as UNM's cross-country skiing coach and joined the school's club soccer team as a player coach. Before his tenure as a skiing coach ended, Klaus took over as head coach of UNM's men's soccer, which by that time was an official NCAA program. The team's biggest win may have been a 1-0 victory over number 2 ranked UCLA in 1992 that earned UNM its first national ranking. After stepping down at UNM, Klaus took on a new challenge at Bosque School. He coached boys soccer, tennis, both boys and girls, and served as the athletic director at the small private school. In addition to naming the soccer field in his honor, players on his final team dressed up like him to celebrate his final match in 2015. A testament to dedication and endurance, Klaus's legacy also includes the Youth Duke City Soccer League and Albuquerque Adult Soccer League, which he helped establish in 1977, and both of which remain active. Between youth, prep, and college soccer, Klaus estimated he coached more than 2,500 games and played in more than 1,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Klaus's son, Josh Weber, accompanied by New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board member Paula Schwartz.
Could have let that run there for a little bit longer. Not a bad song. Well, I certainly have some big shoes to fill tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Joshua Weber, and I'm deeply honored to speak on behalf of my father, Klaus Weber, who is here with us tonight. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. I stand here representing the Weber family, including my incredible mother, Patty, my sister Mariah, and Tamara and Chris, who could not be with us here tonight. First and foremost, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Marty and the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame for this incredible honor and for the tremendous work you do to better sports in our state. Your dedication to recognizing and celebrating the achievements of athletes, coaches, and sports figures like my father inspires us all and elevates the entire sports community here in New Mexico. It is truly humbling to be in the company of such esteemed inductees tonight. Each of you embodies the qualities of dedication, passion, and perseverance, traits that my father has lived by his entire life and still does to this day. Before I dive into my father's impact on the sports community, I feel compelled to highlight his significant role as a devoted family man. If you were to ask him about his most cherished achievement in life, he would wholeheartedly express his love for his family. During an appearance on the Henry T. Talk Show in 2007, he fondly stated, "My family was always my top priority. No matter what I had going on, I consistently made time for them, and I couldn't be prouder of who they are today." Well, Dad, we couldn't be more proud of you. Not just for your accomplishments on paper, but what you have done for us as a family. My dad also wanted me to thank you guys for being here tonight, especially those of you who have played a role in his journey. Your support and friendship have meant the world to him. But if there's anyone in the room my dad would like to acknowledge, it would be our mother and his wife, Patty. Someone once said, "Behind every great man stands an even greater woman." This couldn't be more true about our mom, who has been his support and rock throughout his countless successes and continues to support him to this day. Our father's journey to New Mexico was a pivotal chapter in his life. Moving here allowed him to embrace and excel in multiple endeavors, and more importantly, to touch the lives of countless students, athletes, and colleagues with his unwavering positivity and eternal optimism. His dedication to family, quality of life, leading by example, and staying active have guided him throughout his life and career. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the profound impact our father has had on so many lives. If you are here tonight and have been enriched by his journey, whether as a colleague, athlete, student, or simply someone who has had the pleasure of knowing him, please stand up. Thank you. You are all the reason he loved his job. As our father frequently said, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. Well, Pops, you never stopped working, so it's a good thing you loved what you did. Another passion of our father was running. He was a true ultramarathoner, running multiple 100-mile races, including the Leadville and Western State 100. To this day, he still has his silver belt buckles given for completing these races in under 24 hours. When asked how he endures these physical challenges, he would reply, "It is more about where you are mentally than physically. As long as you have a strong mind and a steady heart, your body will follow." His passion grew from participant to architect when he co-founded the Grants Quadrathlon, a grueling 4-discipline event he himself participated in over 20 times, up until the young age of 70. A known staple within the running community was that each year for his birthday, he would run his age in miles. In his eyes, there was no better way to start the year than challenging himself to be better than the year before. In reflecting on our dad's impact, one of the most striking examples is the way he is recognized when out and about. Whether he is hiking in the beautiful Sandias or simply enjoying a breakfast burrito at the Frontier, it is truly remarkable how often he is acknowledged by people he has influenced over the years. The soccer pitch at Bosque, named in his honor, and the ski trail in the Sandia Mountains that bears his name are a testament to his lasting impact. These honors reflect not just his achievements, but the deep connections he has made and the positive influence he has had on his community. He is not just being inducted as a single sport athlete, but as a difference maker in multiple disciplines. If you wanted to see our father in his element, well, that element was movement. The man is literally the human Energizer bunny. He never stops moving. He kept an annual journal for the majority of his life, dating back to 1975, a collection of events, poetry, reflections, and activity. He has logged tens of thousands of miles, or roughly the equivalent of running around the world. Our father's dedication to sports in New Mexico is undeniable. His induction into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is a well-deserved and humbling recognition of a man who has enriched the state's athletic landscape, not only through his own achievements, but also through his tireless efforts in promoting participation and competition for all. In closing, I would like to share one of my father's poems, a side of him that many of you might not know. The poem is called "Life is a Return." Life is a return to the places we belong, time at a glance to change the spell, to tell the world we are living well. We thought we pay the living price. We planned a life not to roll the dice. We climbed the peaks and rode the waves, unstoppable, the earth to save. To places dreams have reached the sky, yet questions linger, questions why. Uncertainty taps the inner well. Where have we been? Who rings the bell? The yesterdays still push our thoughts. The space between is hardly fought. Memories are framing our lives, sharp and clear, a cutting knife. To visit back just one more time, to close the loop, the question why. We only know deep in the soul where home has lived since growing tall. To know what makes us truly whole, come back to arms which hold the truth. Not just whatever feels, that suit. Come back to life's expansive roots. And with that, I would like to leave you all here tonight with a Hop Swiss, Go Lobos, Go Bobcats, Go New Mexico. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Weber on behalf of his father, Klaus Weber. You're finding all these different things you didn't know these Hall of Famers could sing and write poetry. You learn all these things about them. Our next inductee, Amber Campbell-Moore.
Amber Campbell-Moore's athletic talents have shone brightly all over the United States and around the world. The first glimpse appeared in New Mexico. Born in Cincinnati in 1981, Amber went on to establish herself as one of the world's top throwers in track and field. She's a three-time Olympian and owns 11 national championships in the hammer throw. She established American Olympic trials and Olympic hammer throw records. It might have been hard to see Amber's stellar athletic career coming in the mid-90s when she was just an 8th grader at Tucumcari High School. Still, that is where it started, with Amber qualifying for New Mexico's Class 3A state meet in shot put and in the discus. She set American collegiate records in hammer and weight throw and was named Big South Track and Field's most outstanding athlete 6 times. The conference twice selected Amber as its overall Athlete of the Year. Amber served as a volunteer assistant coach at Coastal Carolina during her amateur career, working with the school's throwers. During that time, she excelled in representing the United States on the international stage. She twice medaled at the Pan American Games and 5 times competed for Team USA at the Track and Field World Championships. Amber earned spots on the U.S. Olympic team in 2008 and 2012, but her high point as an Olympian came in 2016 when she set a personal best of 74.03 meters in hammer throw at the Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon, setting a new American record. She went on to qualify for the finals at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics at the age of 35, finishing 6th, the best ever finish for an American woman in hammer throw. But Amber could not match her personal best mark, and her top throw of 72.74 meters fell less than 2 meters short of a bronze medal. "It's awesome," she told the Indianapolis Star, "and frustrating at the same time." Some 30 years later, Amber is married and a mother of 3 children.
To present the portrait to Amber, please welcome New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame board member Aprilyn Chavez Geisler and Surf Pro Rio Rancho Southwest Albuquerque representative Tanya Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your newest Hall of Famer, Amber Campbell Moore.
Wow, is all I can say. Beyond blessed, humbled. Hey, baby. This day is amazing, outstanding, and I have to start by thanking God. Like the song said, every day I'm blessed. I wake up every morning, I'm blessed, right? Like, as a little girl growing up in Tucumcari, I never dreamed that I'd have all of these accomplishments, get to travel to so many places, and get to meet so many incredible people. But alas, here we are. I remember my very first competition that I ever can remember competing in, like something official. It was like the city sports day or some type of like all-town event in Tucumcari, and I was about 5. And they said I was too young to compete. It was something like a jump rope competition, who can go the longest or whatever. And I felt some type of way because they didn't want to let me compete. But alas, I talked to my mom, she talked to the people, and they let me do the thing, and I ended up winning. And I was like, ooh, okay, I like this. So really, Tucumcari gave me not only my roots, but it really was the formative foundation of who I became today. I went to a little church called Mount Calvary, and Sister Wulu Holly, she was our, well, like everything, 'cause she was like the first lady, and it was a super small church, but she was very much a person who was like, make sure you speak up. Make sure when you get up there, you have something to say. Make sure you say it where people can understand you. And so from that foundation, I have become comfortable speaking in crowds like this. In 2017, I was actually able to give my commencement speech to Coastal Carolina University, and that's crazy. But it's been an incredible journey to go from Tucumcari to Indianapolis and have the foundation to compete at that level in Indianapolis, because as you all know, Tucumcari is not the biggest city in New Mexico. But I was able to go in and compete at a high level because of what I learned and everyone who had poured into me over all of those years. So I felt like I was ready to go in and compete, and getting a college scholarship to a D1 school was really like the pinnacle of my goal. I was like, you know, my brother Donnie, he went D1 in basketball. If he did it, I can do it too. And that was literally my whole goal, just to try to get a D1 scholarship. And lo and behold, Coastal Carolina came calling, and I was like, let's see, I can go south, I can get out of the snow because I'm a desert baby, right? Like growing up in New Mexico, we don't do the snow and whatever. So I got to go to South Carolina, got out of the snow, and got to a really great program who allowed me to embrace who I was, to really like live into my individuality and to become, if you will, like a big fish in a small pond, because I got to compete against all of the major universities and still have that small town support and feel of a coastal Carolina community. So for so many reasons, I was blessed with so many different opportunities, and I couldn't have done any of them without my family. Mom and Daddy. Thank you for being who you were. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of ups and downs, but through everything, you all never failed to support me, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for being amazing now grandparents to my kids, and I can't thank you enough for just being who you are and letting me be who I am and all of your support. To my brothers, Brian, Donnie, Mike, most of y'all gave me absolute you know what, but I loved you for it. You made me stronger, physically and mentally, quite literally. But there has been never on the face of this earth, and I will never back down from saying this, better brothers than what I have. And thank you. To my husband, Jamie, I didn't know you when I was competing, but I feel like I was saving what I could as the best of myself for when I met you. Thank you for the beautiful children that we have, and looking forward to so many more years of laughter and love. To everyone here, thank you so much. To Marty and everyone on the board, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, you are wonderful. What you do year in and year out is incredible. So to be able to recognize people from, little bitty towns in Tucumcari who end up being 3-time Olympians and go on to world championships and this, that, and the other. It feels pretty good, and it's really amazing. I was telling a couple of people at the reception banquet on Friday that one of my gifts is the gift of brevity. So I will not be before you long. Thank you so much, and I'll give my minutes to somebody else. God bless you all.
Amber Campbell-Moore, boys and girls. All right, I've been told the silent auction is closed. If you think you've won, the table is in the back. Go, settle up and collect, but that is done. But we are not. Your next New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame inductee is Charlie Criss.
As a 5'8" basketball player, Charlie Criss always had to prove he belonged. At the end of the day, he was always up to the task. Charlie did it the hard way in both the college and professional ranks on his way to induction in the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. He helped lead New Mexico State to a Final Four appearance, only after a year of junior college ball. He later went on to play 8 seasons in the NBA, only after grinding through 4 years in the Eastern Basketball League. Though short in stature by college and professional basketball standards, Charlie was never short on determination. He doggedly pursued his dream of playing in the NBA and left a trail of individual and team success everywhere he went. A native of Valhalla, New York, Charlie put up dazzling high school numbers in his home state, averaging 25 points per game, leading Gorton High School to a state championship as tournament MVP. Still, he did not immediately grab the eye of Division I coaches and ended up starting his college basketball career in Hobbs at New Mexico Junior College. NMJC proved to be an ideal springboard. He earned all regional honors and caught the attention of then New Mexico State coach Lou Henson, who brought Charlie to Las Cruces for the 1967-68 season. He immediately became a starter and averaged 16 points per game as a sophomore, but was forced to watch the Aggies' NCAA tournament run because rules prohibited first-year JC transfers from playing in the postseason. Charlie and the Aggies soared to a 27-3 record and earned NMSU its first and only trip to the Final Four. Charlie's pro basketball career was a similar story. He excelled in the EBL, leading Hartford and Scranton to league championships, leading the league in scoring 3 times and picking up 2 league MVP honors. He even scored 72 points in a single game. It finally paid off in 1977 when Charlie caught on with the Atlanta Hawks. At 29, he was the NBA's oldest ever rookie, and at 5'8", its shortest player for 7 of his 8 seasons. Nonetheless, Charlie would play 418 games in the league and averaged 8.5 points and 3.2 rebounds for his career.
He might be short, but he wasn't slow, I'll tell you that, boys and girls. The portrait for our next Hall of Fame member, Charlie Crist, will be presented by board member Frank Castillo. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest Hall of Famer, Charlie Crist.
Good evening. First of all, before I get started, I want to thank Marty and the committee members who chose me to be in their Hall of Fame. It's very good for me to know that people, they did see me. Even though I was small, and against the guys in the NBA, I still was small, it was good. And I have to say that Mary Henson, who's here, she has helped me because she helped us during New Mexico State years. Rob Evans and his wife Carolyn and my wife Mary sitting over here, they are really some of the people that have helped me along the way. I'm the oldest of 11 brothers and sisters. Wow is right. And I would always think about other people as far as playing basketball. So what I did was I'd go to New York, down in the city, play in the Rucker League, where I'm one of the 50 greatest players to ever play in that league. I'm in the Hall of Fame in that league. I've done a lot of things. And one thing that I really look at as far as my life goes is the support of my family. My family was there for me whenever I needed it, because there was a time where I played in the Eastern League where I scored 72 points in one game that I was going to give it up. And they said, no, don't give it up. Give it another shot. And that's when I got the opportunity to play in the NBA with the Atlanta Hawks. Being a small player in that type of league is very hard to imagine. I know people sit there, watch it on TV, and guys get knocked down. When I got knocked down, I was knocked down. And it hurt. But my thing was, you got to show people what you got. If you got it in your heart and you really want to do it, don't give it up. People thought I was crazy at 29 years old and going to be in the NBA. I said, well, I got another chance. And it worked. And I never got drafted, and I never had a guaranteed contract the years I played in the NBA. I had to make the team every single year. And that's difficult. And I got the chance to play at NMJC. And when I first got there, I got there at night, and it was dark, no lights. And I wake up that next morning, I look out the window, and I see all these tumbleweeds rolling down the street. And I said, what am I doing here? Do I need to go back home? And Ross Black, who was the coach at that time, he said, just give it a chance. What's going to happen is when the basketball season starts, you'll forget all about everything else, and you just concentrate on basketball. And it was the truth. I forgot about everything else. I almost forgot about doing work. But I made it. And we went to the Final Four my senior year. And like I said, Miss Henson she was our mother. She did everything for us. She kept us going when things were bad. And that's not to say we were a good team, but when you have a team full of 21, 20-year-old guys, and all of them got an ego, it's hard. It's got to have somebody else doing something for them. And I learned that if you do right by others, you do right by yourself. I'm the type of person that I love basketball. I have a grandson that's 10 years old, and he does step backs, he does he shoots threes, and he's the fastest 10-year-old. I'm not saying it because he's my grandson. He's the fastest 10-year-old I've seen in a long time because he can run and he can shoot. And my job for him is to say, listen, there's a way out there you can do this, but if you don't do it, what happens? Because I remember times I come home from playing with Atlanta, and my wife always was asking me questions. And I'd sit there driving the car, and I said, I hope she doesn't ask me a question today, especially if you lose. And then she said to me, she says, you missed a free throw. I said, yeah, I did. She said, why did you miss it? I said, I just missed it. That's all. I missed it. There's nothing I can do. It's gone. She said, well, you need to concentrate more. Believe me, it was hard for me to say anything because what she was telling me was true, and I wind up being one of the top free throw shooters in the NBA. So I'm not going to stay up here for a long time because I already got the memo that she sent around telling me don't be too long. So I'm getting ready to get off. But I want to thank you for having me here. It is good to see some of the people I know. Petey Gibson is here, and Petey and I had some battles. For all the people who know who Petey Gibson is, and I went to New Mexico State, he went to UNM, and we had some battles. And it was good to see him. And Rob Evans and his wife. It's good to see these people that were very instrumental in your life. And I want to thank you again for having me here. Good night.
Charlie Chris. After our next inductee, I'm going to ask all of those who are here for the special recognitions, all the great accomplishments from throughout the state. After our next inductee, please come over to the right, so my right, your left of the stage, to be recognized and to be honored. But ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame is George Brooks.
Growing up in Taos, New Mexico, George Brooks spent as much time as he could flying down the slopes of Taos Ski Valley. It proved to be time well spent. George went on to excel as a racer and a coach in the sport and ultimately led the University of New Mexico to its first ever NCAA Division I team championship. His Lobos won it all in 2004, and George was named the NCAA National Skiing Coach of the Year. Arguably even more impressive was the fact that Brooks founded the UNM ski team and became its first head coach at the age of 20, a position that he would hold for 37 years. Skiing was certainly a labor of love for George, who competed in Taos Ski Valley's junior race program while attending Taos High School. He was a two-time member of New Mexico's state junior team as a junior and senior. George went on to compete collegiately, although UNM only had a club ski program at the time. He was a four-time CIAL All-Conference Alpine skier, and in 1970 earned a spot competing in the North American Alpine Championships. It was also in 1970 that George approached UNM about making ski an intercollegiate sport. School officials gave him the go-ahead, and the program steadily rose to achieve consistent success. From 1971 to 2006, George oversaw UNM's men and women's program in both alpine and Nordic skiing. In addition to their national title, George's Lobos team finished as runner-ups in 1992 and 2005, earned 4 third-place finishes, and finished among the top 10 NCAA finishers 23 times. When I was coaching every year, I'd tell my skiers, "Let's dream a dream and not rest until we make it," George said. This feels like a dream come true for me. George has accumulated numerous honors and awards over the years, including inductions into the Ski New Mexico Tourism, and UNM Alumni Letterman's Association Halls of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, to say a few words on behalf of George Brooks, please welcome the governor of the state of New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham.
For those of you who know me, you know that this was not prepared because otherwise I would be standing on a box. But I have the distinct honor of being invited as George's guest. And in fact, it's an incredible honor for me, as it is for every single person who is attending tonight, who has been impacted, inspired by, and continues to support these incredible men and women who are being honored by the New Mexico Hall of Fame. I'm going to give them all a round of applause one more time. And what, of course, the Hall of Fame does is it memorializes the incredible contributions and the incredible courageous efforts of every one of these athletes. And I've known George for a long time, although earnestly he has no idea that that's the case. I met George when I fancied myself as a really good skier. And I was all about being on the Lobo ski team in 1977 when I was first going off to college. And I feel like there was no other women, George, on that ski team then. And a couple of my friends I'd skied with in Santa Fe. We went up to the Sandias a couple of times, and I'm not really clear on the concept that it's racing. I heard skiing. There's lunch, there's fun, and I have no pressure to actually perform. And so about 2 or 3 times on the mountain, George says, "You understand the concept, don't you? You're gonna have to like lean in and go fast." And I said, "Yeah, I don't want to." And I fully intended to get free lift tickets and to keep going with you, but George cut me from the team. And I like to bring that up as often as I can, because now I'm in a position, no matter what he does, to cut his budget. It's actually a John Garcia line. But the truth is, life is funny in the way in which you're taught important lessons about who you are and what you should aspire to be. George taught me that you're not good at everything, but you can care about everything. And most importantly, you can bring integrity to the work that you do every day, whatever that is. And even in those moments, he created an opportunity for someone like me to think about him, to stay friends, and as life would have it, whenever I need a ski buddy or chaperone, and that happens on occasion, I get one of the best, both mentors and skiers and good friends in the entire country. Please help me in re-recognizing and presenting a proclamation for all of his accolades. George Brooks. It's just a little sentiment from you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
I don't have to stand on a box. I got to turn this up a little. Sorry, Governor. Well, not too many people recognize me this evening because I put on a tux. And the only other time I had that on is when I got married a few years ago, a lot of years ago. Everyone in the room knows it takes a village to raise a child. I can tell you that it took a total community to have me stand before you this evening and take this recognition. I feel very humbled, privileged, and honored to be recognized by the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. I would extend a congratulations, a very hearty congratulations to the entire class of 2023 and to all the other outstanding individuals over the years who have been recognized and are members of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. The first congratulations I would like to thank, or first thank you I'd like to say, is to Marty and the committee. If any of you have ever been in that position, this is one heck of a tough job to put on this activity, and Marty Seitz has done fantastic, along with the committee, who has a very difficult job of going through and recognizing and choosing the athletes and coaches and other people to be recognized. So, Marty, thank you very much. I would also like to thank Ski New Mexico, who gave me an opportunity to have another career after coaching. I told them I would go to work for them for a short period of time. That was for 5 years I had committed, and after 17 years later, this last year, it was the first year I haven't been working since I was 12 years old. So Ski New Mexico people, thank you very much. Over my 37 years of coaching, 10 university presidents, 7 athletic directors, and strong support from a lady who's not here tonight, Linda Estes, our ski team stayed at the university, was successful, and we did happen to bring home a national championship. Thank you. All the things that you can see in the program I don't need to go over, and I'm not going to, but I would like to also thank the 300 plus athletes that graduated at a 99% graduation rate with a 3.6 GPA. For all those people, I hope that I had some impact on their life and helped them on in some direction. And I can tell you every one of those people have affected me and helped me grow as a person. So thank you to all my former skiers. As was mentioned before, these athletes believed in excellence in everything they do. School, academics, personal responsibility, and achievements. Their achievements were great while they were there, and they will continue to be great, much like one of our former governors here is tonight. And Michelle, she was just a little short. You know, we had a height thing. She would have been on the ski team too, so we really appreciate that. It was 20 years ago this year that the UNM ski team put up signs as we traveled around. And it said, UNM ski team, 2004 national champions. But in the back, what we told them, it is up to them whether that is a statement or a question. And fortunately, they made it a statement, and we came home with that honor. So thanks to those people. The other people, as everyone has talked about, you can't do the job without. And that's my immediate family, my son Andrew, Casey, and Christy, who are in the audience, and my grandchildren. One reason I retired and went north is to be with the grandchildren. They're in the audience. Another lady who was like a daughter was Jessica Dickman, and she's here this evening. And I submit those people were a great part of my life and still are. They make it meaningful, and they have completed in a big part my parts of my life. So thank you, family. The other person I would like to recognize, and she probably should be at the end, but I'm going to recognize her now, is my wife of 48 years, soon to be 49. She's the love of my life and has made me successful in everything I did. My wife, Debbie. The other family members that are here are my brother Larry, John, and Randy, and my dad, Bob, and Peggy, who have passed away, obviously. But they have taught me such things as respect, morals, hard work, passion, and never give up dream. And that's what, fortunately, I think a lot of the athletes and the people you're talking here this evening have, is never give up dream. I would like to say I am the sum of my parts and want to thank the village and the people and the community that hopefully I've made a small difference in their lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting George Brooks, his portrait board member for the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Gail Lovato, and Hall of Fame partner, Score 420's representative, James Myers. Ladies and gentlemen, George Brooks. So is this where I would like to ask all of those who are here to receive special recognition, the awards and the honorees, and I believe you all know who you are, to please come over to my right, your left side of the stage. This is something that is very, very cool that the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame has done over the years to recognize the outstanding achievements. And I think what it does in so many respects, it puts what happens around here and in this state into perspective. You go through a year and maybe you lose sight of all the great things that happened. And we are remembering 2023 today as we go through these special recognitions. So as I call you, please come up and be recognized up on the stage. Yes. Yeah, and all the partner companies, please come up with the special recognitions. But as part of the celebration, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame recognizes New Mexico athletes and teams who excelled in 2023 and had a big, big impact on our state and big-time accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, please welcome Josh Kerr, world champion in the 1,500 meters. Josh was competing at the Great Britain Olympic Trials, so representing him is UNM track coach Darren Gosson. We asked board member George Perea and partner company Linquist with Michael Cram. Congratulations, and watch Josh, because I think you're going to be proud of what Josh does in the Olympics this summer. And please welcome board member Ed Manzanares. Chase Ely. Chase Ely, world champion in the shot put. Did you hear what I said? World champion in the shot put. She's competing in the USA Olympic trials, and Chase and her family were unable to attend, but we want to thank Car Crafters for being her partner company. But root for her, she is a New Mexican and a world champion, Chase Ely. Habtom Samuel, University of New Mexico. Habtom finishes the NCAA men's cross-country runner-up and just about a week ago became a national champion when he won the 10,000 meters at the NCAA championships. Habtom Samuel, presenting his board member Ed Manzanares, and the partner company is AI Solutions. Habtom. Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza won the WBC Interim Junior Middleweight Championship. Brian was unable to attend today. Mitch Garver. Mitch was a member of the World Series champion Texas Rangers. Representing Mitch is his father, Jerry Garver. Board member Dick Johnson is with him as well. We want to thank partner company Everguard Roofing and Solar. Mitch Garver. Guess he's a little busy working today. The Albuquerque Isotopes. The Isotopes were the 2023 Bob Freitas Award winner for the best overall AAA organization in all of minor league baseball. The 11 millionth fan crossed through the gates in September, and they were named the 2023 Copa de la Diversión Campeón. Representing the Isotopes, Forrest and Dylan. Welcome to you guys, and the presenting member was Gary Allen. Their partner company, More Than Gates CEO Art Edeloff. Thank you, Orbit. The New Mexico State University cheer team. NMSU cheer team came away from the USA Collegiate Championships with not one but two first place finishes. Let's welcome Jessica Covington, the coach of the New Mexico State cheer team, and her coaches and cheer team members with board member John Hauser and partner company PH Capital CEO George Lovato to their award. Jalen Montes, Cibola softball. Jalen broke the state girls softball record for home runs with 20 home runs in the 2023 season. Let's welcome Jalen Montes, presenting his board member and partner company, Ashley Duran, owner of Ashley Duran State Farm Agency. And Jalen is the recipient this year of the Mike Brown Scholarship. Marty Size presenting that. Jalen, you're not done yet. You were going to win the Mike Brown Scholarship with $2,000. Michaela Munoz, Aztec High School. Michaela, the only four-time state champion in state history in girls wrestling. Let's welcome Michaela Munoz, presenting his board member and partner, U.S. Eagle Federal Credit Union, and board member Paula Schwartz. And Michaela, you're not done yet. Oh, Michaela, you are the winner of the Theo Barella Scholarship Award, presented by Marty and Paula. You didn't know that part, did you? Savannah Sanchez, Hope Christian, soccer. Savannah broke the state girls soccer record for goals, 170 and 407 points. Let's welcome Savannah Sanchez, presenting. The presenting partner company is Form Cove CEO Levi Sanchez. And Savannah, you also have won a scholarship. You won the Malin Love Scholarship that Marty is presenting to you as well. Congratulations on a great high school career. Yep, just gave it. You missed out. You want me to give it again? I'll give her again. The Malin Love Scholarship. Savannah also won the Malin Love Scholarship. Congratulations. Gianna Raymer. It's my favorite story in this state this year. Gianna Raymer, El Dorado High School, is the 6A state champion in cross country and in track and field, won a bunch. By the way, she's an 8th grader and won these championships. She is the Southwest Nike Regional Champion. She went to Arizona to win that. 6th in the Nike Nationals cross country. Let's welcome Gianna, presenting his board member Gary Allen and partner company DTC CEO Sean Dickman. Gianna Raymer. Next, Jerry Kill and the New Mexico State football team. Jerry did one heck of a job coaching the Aggies for 2 straight bowl seasons. They appeared in the Isleta New Mexico Bowl this year. They appeared in the Conference USA Championship game. And they're being recognized for going to back-to-back bowl games in one of the greatest seasons in Aggie football history. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Kill and the Aggie football team, presenting as Frank Castillo. And Jack Nixon. Jack Nixon is the voice of Aggie football and basketball. Aggie fans all over the state and all over the country have learned to love Jack and grew up with him. He called his 500th Aggie football play-by-play game this year. Let's welcome Jack Nixon, presenting his Fiesta Kia. Thank you for being our partner company. Jack Nixon. Ladies and gentlemen, how about some special recognition? We got great things going on in our state. One last round of applause for this wonderful group of people over here. And it doesn't have to be your last one. You could do more. Got some more people who induct into the Hall of Fame. That's really cool, man. There's so much great stuff that goes on in this state every year. That's one of my favorite things that Marty and the board does, is to recognize the achievements. Not everybody gets inducted to the Hall of Fame, but to recognize just the greatness. And I was able to talk about it and see so many of them in person this year. And I don't know what, you got national champion here, you got Olympians. It's great stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Frank Maestas.
A Las Vegas, New Mexico native, Frank grew up in and around athletics. He was a 4-sport athlete at his beloved West Las Vegas High School, lettering in football, basketball, baseball, and track. Those experiences and the knowledge he accumulated from them would serve Frank well as he went on to a distinguished career in sports journalism. Frank is best known for his long tenure as a sports writer for the Albuquerque Journal. After graduating from New Mexico Highlands with a degree in political science and journalism, Frank took a few years to settle into his career. He spent a year as a sports writer at the Albuquerque Journal, a year as the sports editor at the Santa Fe New Mexican, and taught history for a year at Pewaukee High School. Frank Maestas was a pioneer for Hispanics in journalism and sports journalism, as he was one of the first Latino sports writers in the nation back in the 1960s. Many of his feature articles brought tremendous pride and a sense of accomplishment to numerous New Mexico families and communities. Frank returned to the Journal in 1962 and would stay there as a sports journalist for the next 28 years. During that time, he covered pretty much everything sports related, including University of New Mexico football, basketball, and baseball, the Albuquerque Dukes and Dodgers baseball, and many of the state's top boxing talents, like Bob Foster and a young Johnny Tapia. His impact on New Mexico sports coverage is indelible and will continue for years to come.
Presenting our next Hall of Fame portrait for Frank Maestas, please welcome board member Dr. Jim Abreu and Hall of Fame partner Bob Petrie, the CEO of Petrie Automotive, and Paul Blanchard of Albuquerque Downs. Please welcome Frank Maestas' sons, State Senator Antonio Maestas and Miguel Maestas, representing Hall of Famer Frank.
What'd you do?
Huh?
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Family members, friends, Hall of Famers, it is such an honor to be part of this gathering celebrating the remarkable achievements of all inductees into this year's Hall of Fame. Our dad, Frank Maestas, is being inducted into this prestigious hall 34 years after he wrote his last article. On behalf of all whose lives he has touched through his passion for sports and journalism, we extend a heartfelt gratitude to the Sports Hall of Fame Board for this well-deserved recognition. Our dad passed away in 2006, and we don't see this as a posthumous award as much as a recognition whose time has finally come. Thanks to all the Hall of Fame board members, past and present, for not letting Frank's legacy and influence on sports in New Mexico slip further into history, as that legacy is now cemented forever in the Hall of Fame. We want to thank our induction sponsors, Bob Petrie and Paul Blanchard, for their generosity. Our mom, Emma Maestas, is here. Thank you for motivating Frank and helping him achieve his dreams. A special shout out goes to Lydia Maestas, who was married to our dad for 20 years. You gave our dad tremendous happiness and made his life complete. We also want to thank all our family who flew in to share this day from as far as Seattle and Jacksonville. Like others, Frank overcame many challenges. Born in the midst of the Great Depression in one of the poorest counties in America, his career spanned from selling the optic on the streets of Las Vegas, New Mexico, to becoming one of the first Latino sports writers in our nation's history. Frank's journey into the realm of sports began in his childhood, where his love for athletics shaped his future endeavors. Frank and his best friend, Miguel Angel, would listen to the afternoon baseball games on the radio, and Frank soon became a diehard Yankees fan. He then told his little brother, Roberto, that he had to become a Red Sox fan, and his other friends that they had to pick the Tigers or some other team because Frank had already claimed the Yankees. As a four-sports letterman at West Las Vegas High School, Frank's dedication to his teammates was evident. It was during these formative years that his interest in journalism blossomed. Miguel Angel was class valedictorian, earning one of the college scholarships at Highlands. Miguel decided to go to attend college in California, thus relinquishing the scholarship opportunity to Frank, who was the class salutatorian. This educational foundation led to a career of not only sports reporting, but also inspiring and uplifting communities across New Mexico. At the end of the day, Frank was a pure sports journalist and was absolutely one of the best game day writers in the country, especially when a deadline was fast approaching and the sports page needed an article ASAP. From his notes, our dad could arrange all of the important facts about the game in his head and dictate on the phone, including punctuation, the entire story. We all remember the 1983 Final Four in the pit. Describing the Houston-Louisville semifinal game, Frank wrote, "If it had been a gymnastics meet, there would have been more tens on the dunks alone to make people forget Nadia Comaneci." His understanding of sports was at the highest level. On the day of the championship game, he wrote, "If the Houston Cougars don't play up to their capabilities, North Carolina State could stage one of the biggest upsets in NCAA basketball history." His colleagues thought he was crazy, but our dad understood the importance of teamwork. Even though he had no love for BYU, Frank was the first voter in the AP Top 20 to rank the Cougars #1 during the 1984 football season. And by the season's end, the country agreed with him, and Brigham Young won its only national championship. Early in his career, his friend, the Sandia football coach at the time, complained that his players lacked motivation for the upcoming game against Highland High School. Frank offered to help, so in an article the next day he wrote, "Highland will defeat the Matadors. It's a foregone conclusion." My dad took the heat from the Sandia faithful, but it was just the bulletin board motivation Sandia needed to defeat Highland.
Thank you, Miguel. After that game, the Sandia students hung him in effigy. So there's some Matadors out there that are still mad at my dad. He hooked you up. as the lead sports writer for the for the state's largest newspaper, the Journal, Maestas mentored journalists throughout his career, including the editor of the Santa Fe New Mexican, Phil Casaus, AP sports writer Pete Herrera, and Journal sports writers Rick Wright and James Yotis. Though not directly influenced, his journalism's coaching tree, so to speak, also extends nationally, including sports writers at ESPN, The Washington Post, and sports editors of the Orlando Sentinel and the LA Times. So my brother and I, growing up, had an interesting perspective into his professional life. As children of the 70s, we got to go inside the Duke's dugout, Lobos locker room, watched Ellenberger's Lobos practice in an empty pit, and witnessed Preston Denard's football games from the sidelines. He'd tell us, go up to the press box 2 hours after the game, and then we can go home. Around 1970 or so, the Yankees were horrible. Our dad refused to shave until the Yankees won the pennant. The Yankees finally won the pennant in '76. We were about 8, 9 years old. And so we freaked out when he came home. We had never seen him without his beard. And so after that, the beard stayed. In 1982, amateur boxer Benjamin Davis died fighting in the Golden Gloves. Frank used his media power and his relationships in Santa Fe the following year to pass House Bill 145, which mandated that all amateur boxers shall use protective headgear, either in the gym or in the ring. That actually went national, and who knows how many lives that protected. Yeah. But his biggest contribution, as we all know, was covering high school sports. And so what you have to realize, back in the day, newspapers was a big industry in this country. Every single city had not only one, but 2 major newspapers. It was a huge struggle to convince the journals to cover high school sports. Does the LA Times cover high school sports, Frank? He was told. Basically, if you want this newspaper to cover New Mexico high school sports, then you do it. And he did. That was his career. He built relationships with coaches, encouraged them to call into the Journal after each game, the stats and the scores. The first high school box scores, weekly statistics, top 10 rankings, which now are commonplace, were the result of Frank's efforts. There's nothing more New Mexican than telling a great story. Through his articles, Maestas brought life to the triumphs, challenges, and dreams of young athletes. His writing resonated deeply, not just for its eloquence, but for its ability to celebrate the human spirit and foster a sense of pride within local communities. Being a kid and seeing yourself in the newspaper or your son or your granddaughter was tremendous. Frank wrote the kind of articles that were magnetized to the refrigerators for the entire family to cherish for months. Numerous successful people have come up to us and said, hey, man, your dad wrote about me, and it gave me the confidence to apply to an Ivy League school, or he wrote about me, people noticed, and I made the all-state team and got a scholarship. I mean, to everyone at this distinguished gathering that loves telling Frank stories, please keep them coming. Tonight, as we reflect on his legacy, we are reminded of the countless lives Frank has touched through his writing. His commitment to excellence, his passion for sports journalism have left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of readers and made a difference throughout New Mexico and beyond. In conclusion, Jeff, thank you. Let us celebrate Frank Maestas for his outstanding contributions to the world of sport and for his remarkable legacy that will forever be enshrined in the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you all. Thank you. Awesome, Jeff. Love you, man. Thank you.
Frank Maestas. And kind of proud sons, huh? That's really, really cool. Ladies and gentlemen, our next inductee into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Jim Marshall.
James Jim Marshall always considered himself a secondary player during his long career as an athlete and a coach. The numbers suggest otherwise. Yes, Jim played alongside the likes of NFL stars Gale Sayers and John Hadel, and yes, some of the successful teams he coached included all-conference and all-American players. But Jim inevitably rose to leadership roles, and his teams enjoyed remarkable runs of success. After spending 2 years coaching at Liberty High School in Missouri, Jim found his calling in New Mexico. He spent 38 years coaching baseball at New Mexico Highlands University in Las Vegas and College of the Southwest in Hobbs. His teams won 619 games, and Jim led NMHU to 3 appearances in the NAIA semifinals. His Cowboys team rode to 1 third-place finish, a runner-up finish, and a national championship in 1967. Jim enjoyed reflecting on his coaching days at Highlands, but he didn't accept much credit for his program's success, including its 1967 championship run. Jim, who passed away in 2021 at the age of 86, has an outstanding coaching career at New Mexico Highlands with his 384 victories as a baseball coach over 26 years. He served as a professor, coached softball, was offensive coordinator for NMHU's football team for several seasons, and spent 12 years as the athletic director. Jim went on to spend 12 years at College of the Southwest, winning 235 more games as a baseball coach and leading the school to its first regional appearance. Jim had high expectations for his students, players, and coworkers over the years and was known for a no-nonsense approach, but those who got to know him came away with respect. My dad was a hard man, but he loved all his players. Jim's son, Jim Bob Marshall, said, "It was a tough love, and his former players are all doing well in the community thanks to that tough love."
Presenting the portrait for Jim Marshall is board member Ed Manzanares and Hall of Fame partner New Mexico Highlands University Board of Regent Frank Sanchez. At this time, let's welcome to the stage Jim's wife Carol, his daughter Tammy Rotuno, and his son Jim Bob Marshall to present Jim Marshall.
Good evening. Ooh, there's a lot of you out there. Okay, my name is Tammy Rotuno. I grew up as Tammy Sue, for those of you that are in Las Vegas. I'm sure you've heard that. I grew up as Coach Marshall's daughter, Jim Bob's little sister. I didn't really have a name till I moved. So, I want to begin tonight by congratulating all the wonderful inductees here tonight. What a great group of people to represent the great state of New Mexico. So, congratulations. I'd like to give a special shout out to Marty Seiss. Thank you for everything you've done for this group of people and everybody in the state. Dr. Jimmy Abreu, one of my teachers at Highlands, by the way, thank you. Ed Manzanares, you're the man. But the entire board of the Hall of Fame, thank you from my family. We appreciate it very much. I apologize. This is the first time I've spoken about my daddy since he passed, so bear with me. My mom, Mrs. Carol Marshall, she was married to my daddy for 56 years when he passed away. So a round of applause for that. When they got married in 1964, they both lived in Liberty, Missouri. Dad was coaching high school football and baseball. And they got married. 1 year later, he said, "Surprise, we're moving." And they moved to Las Vegas, New Mexico. She'd never heard of that town. She'd never been to New Mexico. So they moved, and it was a bit of a shock for her. And that community embraced my parents so well. As a matter of fact, my mom stayed in Las Vegas until 1998. So it was a great blessing for us. My brother Jim Bob and his wife Michelle are here tonight, as well as his daughter Samantha and her husband George. She is also a native Las Vegan. My husband Victor, our daughters Madison and Amanda, and our son-in-law Aaron are also here tonight. So just a shout out to them. When my daddy grew up in Warrensburg, Missouri, he caused a lot of trouble, we'll just put it that way. So he joined the Navy. He needed some discipline, as he told my brother and I growing up. So after the Navy, he went to the University of Kansas, where you heard he played with the great Gale Sayers. His joke was he only got to carry the football on picture day because he played with the great Gale Sayers. So that was one of his favorite jokes. One of my favorite memories of my dad that shows the impact he had on players was we had a family vacation in Las Vegas, Nevada. We walked into the MGM Grand, and you could hear the blackjack dealers, and he hollered across the casino, "Larry, is that you?" And you hear this blackjack dealer yell back across, "Coach Marshall, is that you?" And it was a picture from his 1967 championship baseball team. That right there showed me the impact my daddy had on his players. For them to realize his voice in a crowded casino, that tells you they heard his voice a lot. So it was very humbling to me to meet Larry Hammer. His voice resonates with me today in the things I do, the choices I make. One other Hall of Famer, Coach Larry Hayes, was a dear friend of my daddy, and I'm very honored that they got to join this class together. Coach Hayes, thank you very much. He spoke very highly of you. Okay, I'm gonna round this up, y'all. I have more, but my nerves are getting me. So, when Daddy passed away in 2021, it was very evident to our family by all the love and support we received from the state of New Mexico, the community of Las Vegas, the community of Hobbs. We had some players fly in from across the country. We had one fly in from New York City that played football when my daddy coached football at New Mexico Highlands. And one thing we discovered through all that hard time in our lives was the amount of love people had for my dad and the amount of love my dad showed those people, and that's why they showed up, that's why they called, that's why they sent cards. So if any of you were impacted by my dad, or you feel like he impacted your life in some sort of way, I would ask that you please stand right now, or not. So thank you for being here. Thank you for loving our family and making the great state of New Mexico a home for my parents for so many years, and the home for my brother and I. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Jim Marshall. Woo! Our next inductee into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Larry Hayes.
It's fair to say that Larry Hayes built most of his resume outside of New Mexico's borders. His long coaching tenure includes hundreds of baseball and softball victories accented by a slew of championships, trophies, and career accomplishments, all of them amassed in bordering states. But first and foremost, Larry is a New Mexican. Born in Elida, he grew up, found, and nurtured his love of sports on the state's eastern plains. Larry graduated from Dora High School, where he was an all-district basketball player. He played basketball at Eastern New Mexico University, where he received his bachelor's and master's degrees at Eastern, and parlayed his education to a remarkable coaching career that is still underway. Larry led Lubbock Christian to an NAIA national championship in 1983 and coached Texas Tech to 4 combined conference titles: Southwest Conference regular season and tournament in 1995, Big 12 regular season in 1997, and Big 12 tournament in 1998. Larry also spent 6 seasons coaching men's basketball and 1 coaching women's basketball at Lubbock Christian early in his first career. He capped things off in 2010 by leading Lubbock Christian softball to a 51-7 record, a conference title, and a third-place finish at the NAIA Nationals in his only season at the helm. Larry is currently the head softball coach at Colorado Christian University, a position he accepted in 2018 as a 73-year-old. He has since led the Cougars to more than 250 wins, the program's first 3 Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference tournament titles, and 3 straight NCAA Division II regional appearances. Larry came out of retirement to coach softball at Colorado Christian only after enjoying long stints as a successful baseball coach at Lubbock Christian and Texas Tech. He won 1,509 games combined at the two schools, which ranked among the top 10 in college baseball history when Larry stepped down. His has been a Hall of Fame coaching career by any measure, and Larry has the hardware to prove it. In addition to having his number retired at Texas Tech, he's a member of the National College Baseball Hall of Fame, the NAIA Hall of Fame, Texas Baseball Hall of Fame, and Lubbock Christian University Hall of Fame.
And now, the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Presenting Larry Hayes' portrait is board member John Hauser and our Hall of Fame partner, Lubbock Christian University. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Hayes.
Marty, thank you. The board, thank you. And fella Greyhound, John Hauser, thank you. Well, folks, this isn't going well. I was looking forward to this. I didn't know the cotton-picking governor's going to be up here. Got to follow the governor. That's not well. I didn't know I was going to see all these athletes go across the stage. The girl that hit all the home runs, I asked her, and she's already signed with another school. So this isn't a very good deal. You know, these great, I can go right now, I'm the worst athletes to come across this stage. My only claim to fame, and I've said this before, playing basketball at Eastern New Mexico, averaged 30 a game. That sounds good, doesn't it? Not points, seconds. So like I say, you know, not anything's going very well, but I tell you what, there's a lot of things that happen in life that mean a lot to you. For some reason, this is getting me. Because everything that's important in my life that really has value started in Door, New Mexico. And, you know, they got me off to a great start academically. Graduated in the top 20 of the class. Not many of you could say that, is it? Problem is, we only had 19. I got started in the music really well there. Played first chair trumpet. Then I have to admit the other kid quit. But Dora, New Mexico was a place to be. And so I'm here. You know, anyone that's up here had a lot of people to help them, and my part's going to be saying thank you. I'm going to say thank you, Dora. If you wanted to play ball, we played ball. We played softball in the fall, basketball in the winter, baseball in the spring, and then the summer played all three, and their great coach, Bobby Cannon, one of the dear people in my life, made sure that gym was open year-round. So I had all those blessings getting to do that. But Marty said, introduce numbers, not individuals. Because if I go too long, he's going to start playing some music, and I don't want to face the music. But here's who I want to thank, starting off. Number one, I want to thank God. My life has been blessed by knowing Jesus Christ, and it all started in Door, New Mexico, with a mom and dad and a brother who gave me a good Christian example and a loving church. That's number one. The other thing New Mexico gave me was my wife, Nell. I remember her in the 3rd grade. She won't admit she remembered me at all. But she got stuck with me because there's not a great selection there in Dora. But last night, with a whole bunch of people over here, our family, we celebrated our 60th wedding anniversary. You know, I was feeling great about that. And I said, honey, 60 years. If you could do it all over again, would you do it? And she said, oh, yeah, but not with you. That kind of put a damper on the whole thing, you know. But the other thing that New Mexico carried with me was a great opportunity, a love for God, a love for my wife. And the thing with her, I want the results of these 60 years. Would my loving family please stand up? Please. Marty said I couldn't name every one of them one by one, but all this was because of New Mexico and finding Nell, and I want to thank my family and Nell for being a coach's family. If any of you know what coaches go through, it's tough to be a wife, and it's tough to be a kid. There's a lot of things I miss because I was coaching. And then the other thing I want to thank is the universities that gave me an opportunity to coach. That is quite an honor when you get to go and a university allows you to represent them. And so going through those 3 universities, it's the whole thing's players. I've had great players. The guy that's standing up here with me, the ugly one, not the good-looking lady, he's an All-American player, and I've had tons of good players. I got a few of them here. You ex-players, would you stand up? Mind me one time, you know. And any coach that thinks they're good, they realize it's all about players. But thank you, Lubbock Christian, for giving me the first opportunity. I was so glad. I never applied for a job. I just fell into them. I left Eastern New Mexico with my master's degree. Nell had her speech there, degree, and we was going to go be the head of the history department at Lubbock Christian. Had 30 hours above my master's. We're getting our dissertation started, and Larry Rogers, the basketball coach, said, why don't you come help me? I was out there for an hour, and it ruined my life. I didn't finish my dissertation, go in there. Well, then the next year he leaves. He goes to get his master's. I fell into the coaching job. 20 years there, and it's such a blessing. And Marty won't break the rules. I don't mention part. John Copeland was a big factor in all the things. He's coached basketball there for 30 years. Then Texas Tech called. You know, I don't think I'd have ever left because that was my dream job. That was the job I always wanted, was Lubbock Christian. But I made a mistake becoming AD, and you AD people know that's a mistake. And so Texas Tech called and says, do you want to come? And I said, yeah, I think I will. And my plan was to go there 2 or 3 years and then go back to New Mexico and chase cows. Well, it's 22 years. I messed that up. Anyway, when I retired from Texas Tech, I thought I was through. And then one of my sons was coaching Colorado Christian. He leaves. And I've been up there throwing batting practice for him. The coach, the AD called and said, Coach, these girls said they'll stay if you'll hire that old man. Well, this is the old man. It's a privilege to coach. It's a blessing to get to coach because you get to meet guys like Jim Marshall. Any of you ever heard of Ray Birmingham? You know, the coaches you meet in this profession, it makes it so good and all that. And so I'm here to say I've been blessed. Thank you. It's an honor to be in the Hall of Fame of New Mexico. Thank you.
I don't know. He says, I can go now. I'm like, I don't know. That was pretty good. But you can go now. Our next inductee into the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Glover Quinn, Jr.
Playing defense has always been part of Glover Quinn's DNA. Blowing up opposing game plans came naturally even back in his days as a two-sport standout at North Pike High School in Summit, Mississippi. Football was ultimately Glover's game, and he made his mark as a standout defensive back. He earned all Mountain West status at the University of New Mexico and went on to play 10 outstanding seasons in the NFL with the Houston Texans and Detroit Lions. Other than perhaps defensive-minded University of New Mexico head coach Rocky Long, Glover did enough to earn honorable mention for the All-Regional 23 team and secure a spot in the conference's All-Star game. More important, he caught the eye of Long and UNM's coaching staff and was recruited to become a Lobo for the 2006 season. In 3 seasons at UNM, Glover established himself as one of the best defensive players in program history. He was All-Mountain West and named Team MVP in 2008, joining Brian Urlacher as the only defensive players to earn that latter distinction. Glover's 31 career pass breakups were a program record and helped the Lobos advance to back-to-back bowl games. His success continued at the NFL level after the Texans signed him as a 4th-round draft pick in 2009. Glover played 4 seasons in Houston and 6 with the Detroit Lions, racking up outstanding numbers along the way. 760 tackles, 4 sacks, 85 pass deflections, 24 interceptions, 10 forced fumbles, and 2 defensive touchdowns. Glover Quinn was a Pro Bowler, a second-team NFL All-Pro, and consistently ranked among the league's leaders in pass breakups and interceptions. More impressive, he started 162 of 165 games over his career, including the final 148, which was the 3rd longest active streak when he retired in 2019. I tried to approach the NFL the same way I did my career here in the 505, Glover said. I think my time in New Mexico was great preparation for the NFL.
Presenting Glover Quinn's portrait, Board President Marty Sice and Hall of Fame partner Kevin Sice, the Vice President of the Marty Sice State Farm Agency. Ladies and gentlemen, Glover Quinn.
Finally made it. I know it's been a long night, so I'm going to jump right into it. First, I just want to thank the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, Marty. I know you've got a lot of thanks tonight, but I definitely want to thank you for your committee and everybody nominating me, a little kid from Summit, Mississippi, to be a part of this amazing class. I want to congratulate all the other inductees going in, this incredible class. We're part of the 50th anniversary, so that's a great thing. I got a lot of people here with me tonight, so I'm gonna start out by thanking these guys because without them, I probably wouldn't be here, so try not to get a little emotional. I don't know why I get emotional, but I do. I wanna thank my dad. Obviously, I'm Glover Quinn Jr., so my dad is a senior. Growing up in small town, I heard many stories about how great of an athlete you were. Got asked all the time if I was going to be better than my dad. And I don't know if I ever did, but I went as far as I could. And I just thank you for inspiring me, believing in me, and pushing me to go as far as I could. To my mom, it's a praying woman. It's a praying woman. That thing said I played in 162 out of 165 games. well, since I started. So I actually missed one game in my 10-year career. I played in 148 consecutive games. And I know a lot of it was, when people ask me all the time, I just say it was just God. And it was a lot of prayers from my mom. So Mom, I thank you for all your prayers and your support. To my 3 sisters, I got 3 sisters here with me. I'm the baby of 4. And so I thank you guys for always being my biggest cheerleaders. I mean, from little to now, you guys have always been there cheering for me. But perhaps your greatest contribution was the fact that, like I said, I was the baby, so I didn't have many rights to the TV. So thank you guys for watching Days of Our Lives and all your other soap operas and forcing me to go outside and play. I got my best friend here with me from childhood. We grew up together. He's been with me since I can't remember. We've done everything. He's been all over with me. He was at every home first game of my career. He made it his business to be there. So I appreciate you being the big brother that I never had, and thank you for being here with me tonight. I got some brother-in-laws in here too, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys, man, all your support pushing me. And we were all competitive, and so I always wanted to beat you guys in everything. And so I just thank you guys for providing that extra push. I got my manager, Humble. Bro, we did it, man. I remember being here at the University of New Mexico, sitting in business classes, and we were talking about this. We talked about, I wanted to go to the NFL, and he wanted to manage, you know, athletes and entertainers. And we wanted to invest in young entrepreneurs and create wealth for our families. And that was back in 2006. And 24, well, not 24, but 17, 18 years later, man, we doing it, we still doing it, and we're gonna keep doing it, man. So thank you for being here with me. Lastly, not lastly, but next to last, I got one person I want to thank. It'll be in the speech though. My kids. You know, you guys were not here when I was in college, obviously, but this Hall of Fame encompasses way more than just what I did in college. A part of my NFL career, you guys were obviously one of the driving forces, because I knew every time I went on that field, I was representing some way bigger than me, and I just wanted to be an example for you guys. So thank y'all for being here with me. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to be quick. I could talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna try to be really quick. And we're at the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and I'm a little kid from Summit, Mississippi. So how did I even get out here? Like, how am I on this stage? So coming from a small town, I didn't get recruited out of high school like, you know, a lot of people, I didn't go to a bunch of camps. I didn't do a lot of those things. I had to go the JUCO route. I had to choose the route of making good grades, staying out of trouble, basically doing everything I could to help myself. So I went the JUCO route. And anybody that knows JUCO ball is tough. You know, the thing about JUCO ball, it will make you really, really, really decide if you really want to continue to play the sport, whatever it is you're doing, the living conditions, travel, the practices. They're trying to weed everybody out. And so my JUCO career really shaped, you know, who I am, and it really made me believe that I could do this. Because in JUCO, I met a lot of other athletes, and I started to realize that a lot of guys were talented, but a lot of guys didn't have the mindset that it took to make it to the next level. They didn't want to focus on grades. They didn't want to do things the right way. And that was one thing that I decided to do, and that choice made a huge difference in my life, because I was able to finish JUCO in 3 semesters. It's generally a four-semester program, 2 years. I finished in 3 semesters. So in doing that, that made me more valuable as a prospect. My JUCO career got cut short. I broke my arm my first semester, my first season, and then Hurricane Katrina hit my second season and canceled a few of our games. So I only played in 8 games in junior college. But the thing that made me stand out was I was tough, I was physical, and I had grades. And it was just the perfect timing because the University of New Mexico had just graduated or had 3 seniors, and they needed some corners. And they came calling. And granted, I had no idea about the University of New Mexico, never heard of the state almost, didn't know anything about it, you know. And once I found out about it, I realized it was 16, 17 hours away from my hometown, long way away. But I had told my mom that if I had opportunity to play Division I football, I didn't care where I had to go. And so I think Coach Long is here tonight. I want to thank Coach Long. Coach Long was my head coach, and he was a hard-nosed guy. And I think the part of him that helped me, that was a perfect fit, was I came on my recruiting trip, right? And you know, we come on recruiting trips, it's about, you know, getting a scholarship and having a good time, right? Well, and I only played in 8 games at JUCO. And in those 8 games, we played a lot of zone, not a lot of man-to-man. If anybody knows Coach Long, we know he's a blitzing man-to-man coach. So Coach Long was one of those coaches that was like, hey, we know you're tough, we know you're physical, but we don't know if how good you can cover as a man-to-man guy. So I had to earn it. I had to earn my scholarship to New Mexico. And some people may think of that as a bad thing, but I thank him for doing that because that put a chip on my shoulder that stuck with me throughout my entire career. I never felt like anything was given to me. I felt like I had to earn everything that I ever got. And so I thank Coach Long for making me earn it. Thank you. Because as I went through my college career, I got a chance to go to the NFL. Now that was a dream come true. That was a dream come true. I always wanted to, as a little kid, to play in the NFL. And little do you know, the same thing that I went through in college, I went through in the NFL. So we started the season out, this is my rookie year, and we were not playing well, just to say that. We're not playing well. The starting guys were not playing well, and I was a 3rd, 4th string guy playing the nickel. So our coach comes in on Wednesday of week 4, and he basically benches the starting corner and said, hey, you're not playing well, you're not starting. Well, they had paid a guy, and they was like, hey, he was coming off an injury, and they said, hey, if you can walk, you're starting. So we go to practice on Wednesday, going through ball drills. The guy that they had just told that if you can walk, you're going to start. Going through ball drills, he tries to catch a pass. He breaks his pinky. Bone pops out the skin. He has to get surgery, so he's out another week. So I'm a rookie. I'm just kind of sitting back looking because they just benched the guy. The other guy just got hurt, and I'm just like, okay, I wonder who's going to be the next guy because it really wasn't going to be me. And so we showed this to work on Thursday and go through meetings, go through everything. And I had a coach come up to me, Ray Rose, and he was like, hey, they're thinking about starting you this week, you know. And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. But my DB coach didn't say a word to me about it. The defensive coordinator didn't say a word to me. The head coach didn't say anything to me about it. So I just went on like business as usual. So I'm walking on the practice field that Thursday, and the DB coach calls me over, and he's like, hey, come here. He said, let's wait for, Fred. So Fred comes out, and he comes up to us, and he's just like, hey, man, GQ, you starting this week. He says, not my choice, but we're not playing well, so I don't really have a say-so. So that's a lot of confidence, right? Your own DB coach telling you that it's not his choice for you to start, right? So okay, I leave there, and I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I just got to go do my thing. And I walk over to get ready to start warming up, because I was an early bird. I would always show up early for practice. So I'm getting ready to warm up, and the defensive coordinator come over to me. And he was like, hey, man, we're going to start you this week. Don't give us a reason to take it back. And that was week 4 in 2009. That put a chip on my shoulder, because I never gave him a reason to take it back 156 games later. So, you know, there's 2 things I want y'all to take from that. There's 2 things I want y'all to take from that. It's really all I have. Well, I have some more, but I'm not going to say it. There's 2 things I want y'all to take from that. 1, focus on your journey and not your destination. It's more about who you become along the way than what you achieve in the end. Those lessons that I learned made me who I am today. So focus on the journey and not the destination. And the last thing, whenever your opportunity comes, take advantage of it. And don't ever give them a reason to take it back. Thank you, guys. Thank the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Thank my family. Thank everybody. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Glover Quinn. We got great stories tonight. I think we're reminded, not that this probably isn't the crowd that needed to be reminded, somewhat singing to the choir, what sports, what athletics means. It's not just about the scores and the numbers and the results, although it is about that. But it's about the lessons and the stories and the triumph and the comebacks and all the stories that you got to hear today. And that's why we love it, and that's why we keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving who you love. Keep putting your passion into it, because it changes. Obviously, every life in this room has been changed for the better by sports, by athletics. No matter what you do, whether you were a player, a coach, a writer, a broadcaster, whatever it is, a wife of a coach, whatever, it's changed all of our lives for the better. And I'm not telling you it is the end all, but it is one of them, and it's pretty special, and it's so great to be part of this tonight. I want to say thank you to the board for giving me the honor of serving in this capacity for the 50th Annual New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. I've been in this state for 28 years in a lot of different capacities, and I've got so many stories with so many people in this room, and this was a great honor. Your board president, Marty Seiss, is going to close things out, but thank you for, letting me do this for a couple of 3 hours today. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a great evening. Here's Marty Seiss.
Let's give Jeff Symbieta an awesome job. He really stepped up. He really did step up tonight and did a great job. Again, I want to thank all our partner companies for their financial support. It allowed us to have 5 events. All the past inductees, we were able to do things that probably were never done before. All the board members, again, you guys did an awesome job. Let's give them another round of applause to them. I've got one of the biggest state farm agencies in New Mexico, and I want my team to stand up that have really given me the time. I think I spent 2 hours this week working insurance, and I've been doing it for 40 years, and I've got a great team of doing it. I want to end with this and bring a few people up. Theo Barella, in 2015, we started the dream of building a museum. And now, the last 2 years, Theo Barella, the previous president, who had a heart attack about a year ago, he had a dream of bricks and mortars. I changed the dream a little bit to the Walk of Fame. Thanks to the city of Albuquerque, Alan Armijo, good friend. I was board president of AYBL, and he took over my spot. And, You know, the friendships and the things that you get with sports is just awesome. Never know what's going to happen. Had some great talks with Robin Cole. I'm a Dallas Cowboy, and he's a Pittsburgh Steeler, real Pittsburgh Steeler, but built the won Super Bowls against the Cowboys in the 70s. We bonded pretty good. He took my suite, and I ended up in a regular room out there Friday night and Saturday night. But all these dreams and goals, my goal and dream, and I think the board's goal and dream, is to have a New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame museum or event center, and hopefully with the city we can make that happen here in the near future. And then we'll need some help from some state senators and state reps. I want this dream to happen. I think this state deserves to hear the stories. I got to hear them. I got to talk to all you past inductees, and that for me was awesome. A little kid from the North Valley, that was big time. Want to thank again, with this one to happen, without Gala Chevrolet. I'd like to have Eddie Espinosa come up to the stage. You guys have been helping us with a charity golf for 4 years and 3 years with the Banquet. You guys are true Hall of Famers. I'd like to welcome all the current inductees back to the stage. Let's go, Coach. Larry Hayes, Mo, if you're representing your family, let's go. I want all of them to take one final picture with Eddie Espinosa and Gala Chevrolet. While they're doing that, I hope you guys reflect on how special tonight and hopefully how special this whole weekend was for all of you that participate, past inductees and current inductees. Again, sports is a great way to bring people together in a positive way. I turn over the leadership to April Chavez Geisler. I know she and the board will work hard next year to make the 50th first anniversary induction banquet even better. And good night and have safe travels.